Other guys. Let's take a moment to understand the idea of obesity, like being obese. So the conversion for so with the conversion, understanding the conversion. The conversion, like for 1 kilogram, there's most of countries, like a country I come from, mostly in England, I think the measurement of weight is usually a kilogram. And I think it goes in physics. So in case you're used to kilogram, and whenever people are talking about weight, mean, body weight, you hear them use the word pounds. So in 1 kilogram, quantity of a kilogram, there's 2.20462 pounds. And the symbol for a kilogram is capital K and the lowercase g. And the symbol for pounds is capital I, lowercase b, and s. So this is the symbol for pound. Where you ask yourself, why is pound POUND, and this is like the short form for it. So literally is a translation from Latin. That means like the Latin word libra poundum, which translates for pound by weight. So most quantities, most words, most information in science is derived from Latin, and you will just take it for just as that. So here's a table that summarizes the components that make up the body of a person. So for a person, having compounds and approximate percentages. So water, well, you could have had it before, something like water is life. Well, truly it is because we thought that 60% is water. We're made of 18% protein, 10% fats, 5% carbohydrates, 1% organic, and 1% inorganic. This is some like bones, uh, bones, cartilage, and yeah, bones and cartilage. The bones and cartilage make the 1%. So the table just finds it for every portion. Okay, for every portion of flesh taken from a living human being. So today, if you cut maybe a piece of flesh, a pound of flesh, you cut it on your bum, let's say on your back. So for that specific portion, you will find that that portion is made of 65% water, 18% protein, 10% fats, 5% carbohydrates, and 2% organic and inorganic. Yeah, so this makes a total of 100%. But this is for a normal person, okay? So lean person. Okay, this is the ideal people. This is what human beings should have. But you remember we have people different sizes, people who are so thin, people who are so far, people who are normal. So for a lean person, there's a normal person. For a regular person who weighs about 150 pounds, which is equivalent to 68 kilograms, that means from this table, of the 150 pounds, 10% of them is fats, and the equivalent to 15 pounds of flesh. So if you cut a piece of flesh, maybe from their arm, from their breast, from their barn, from their thigh, 10% of that flesh would be fat. 60% of that would be water, which is equal to 97.5 pounds of water would be extracted from that portion. So really water is life because 95 is too much. And 18% of that would be protein. Well, you would say maybe 0% is could be inorganic because if I cut something from your bone, from the thigh, obviously there's no bone, so inorganic is almost zero. Okay, but 5% of that is um, carbohydrates, which is equal to 7.5 pounds, and inorganic is equal to 1.5 pounds, 1.5. So why this is still catered for because it's more this inorganic and organic is more than just bones and cartilage. It's more. People who have done a lot of biology will know that better. But for an obese person, so now let's look at an obese person, someone who is obese. For instance, let's take someone with 300 pounds, which is equivalent to weighing about 136 kilograms. What does this mean? The amount of lean mass increases to support the extra weight. That means they'll have a bigger heart, stronger leg muscles, stronger skeleton. And all that. But one thing you have to understand here is that what is changing here greatly is the percentage of fat for that base person. It's not water, it's not carbohydrates, it's not protein, it's specifically fat. So for a normal person, we saw that the fat's 10%, but now here for this obese person, the fat will increase to something between 40% and 60%. So if somebody goes beyond this, really, I think he would even die because increasing from 10% for someone to be called obese, the fat percentage lies between 40% and 60%. From remember, for number one, they get it at 10%. So you see, it's a very big gap. So the full percentage is greater than or equal to 40% and is less than or equal to 60%. So it lies here. It could be 45, it could be 60, 59, it could be 60.0%. You know, 4% exceeds the rest of the portions by far. So because it's the 4% is going to increase, the rest is going to drop. The water percentage, the protein percentage, everything is going to drop. For instance, here we heard water at 65%, and now for this obese person, water is going to drop to something like 40%. So water drops, the percentage of water in a tissue in the tissue and whole body of the obese person drops from 65 to something like 40% and 45%. Is because fat tissue contains very little water compared to muscle. You know why the normal person has a lot of water percentage is because they made a lot of with muscle and little fat, and it's that muscle that gets to have the water. It's where the water is contained. It's not like there is a bag in your body that will have water every water you're drinking or no. It's within the muscle. So as you go forward, there's a lot of fat being packed in your muscle. So because that fat though use the muscle, the water is going to drop because you are made of more fat than muscle. That's just it. And 14% drops significantly because the proportion of muscle relative to fat is smaller. Muscles are highly composed of protein. So the muscles is the ones that contain water, and muscles is still the ones that contain the protein. So, but however, now this is the interesting part. The size, the number, the strength of the bones does not change. If you was 15 years and you got a bone of maybe 7 centimeters and the diameter is maybe 45 centimeters, when you increase in fat, the bone won't increase. No, the bone is just going to keep its size. Only that fresh that further is increasing just going to be packed on that bone. You know what I'm saying? So the percentage of the inorganic bonds does not double. It just remains relatively the same. And even the same with carbohydrates. The carbohydrates stored as glycogen in the liver and muscle stays the same. So it's no exception for you. But maybe you would want to know then what changes. We said they get they're here, we put them here, and they get large limb muscle increasing to support their weight. They get a bigger heart, to pump more blood. They get stronger legs, to support the the extra fur. They get a stronger skeleton. But otherwise, it keeps the same. So hope you had a glimpse in what obesity means and what really changes in the body when someone is rendered as obese. So thank you for watching. Bye bye. Okay.